Hi, welcome to Fourth Form Yoga. This is a restorative sequence for releasing low back tension and low back pain. So you're going to need 2 blocks and 2 straps for our practice here today. And at least one of your straps needs to have a buckle or some kind of locking mechanism. So I have 2 10-foot straps, each with the locking mechanism. And so take one of your straps, the one that has the buckle or the lock on it, and create a loop with just one of your straps. All right, so let's get these props set up before we get into the postures. So one strap, big wide open loop, and just keep that off to the side along with your other strap. For this first posture, we'll use both blocks. From wherever you are, come to a standing position. Keep your blocks with you, and you want to make sure that your yoga mat is open wide so that the longer edge of your mat is facing out towards the screen, towards me. Once you're set with that, stand right in the center of your yoga mat with your left hip towards the screen. Start with your feet hip-width distance apart, and then take both of your blocks at their tallest height, where they're tall and thin, running forward and back, and place them out in front of you, maybe a good 2.5 feet to start. Good. And then once you're there, stand tall, take your gaze straight forward on the horizon, lean your way back slightly to your heels. Take your hands onto your hips. Lift your heart nice and tall, and then lift your toes up off the floor. Keep your toes up, spread them out wide. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, begin to tip your hips forward, bend your knees slightly, and take your hands onto your blocks. Once you're set there, pause, and take a moment to just reestablish weight in your heels. So maybe bend into your knees a few rounds to just establish that connection between the center of your heel bones and the floor. Keep your toes up, and then maintain that soft medium bend in your knees. Walk your blocks forward as far as you can without tipping forward or without feeling like you're going to release your toes down. Once you're set there, bring your fingertips up onto the blocks and relax your head all the way down. Uttanasana, forward fold position. We'll hang here for just a few rounds of breath, really allowing time and gravity to not only lengthen the spine, but our side bodies as well. So we have more breath capacity and blood flow to some of our visceral organs. And so just hang here for a little bit longer. Let your head rest completely. 0 effort in your neck, your jaw, your face. Keep your toes up and active. Take full, complete breaths in and out through your nose. Maintain the connection with your breathing. Keep your head relaxed and gently release your toes down. One hand at a time, place your fingertips to the floor. Begin to take a deep bend into your knees. As you do, place your palms down. Start to look forward past your fingers. And then one leg at a time. Gently step back, lower your knee, and then the other. Making your way into a tabletop hands and knees position. For this next posture, we're just going to use one block. So you can take one of your blocks, place it off to the side, clear some space. Take the other block at its width length, so at its widest length, second tallest height, in between your ankles. So take your block widthways between your ankles and clip your ankles to the block. Once you're set here, you want to mindfully, right, nice and slow, just walk yourself down onto your belly.
we'll set up what's called Shalambhasana, or it's a variation of Sphinx pose. Go ahead and place your elbows down directly under your shoulders so that your arms create a 90-degree angle, forearms parallel with one another on the ground, and spread your fingers out wide. Squeeze your block with your ankles just a little bit, not a lot, just enough to know that you are, in fact, pressing into your block with your ankles. Once you feel that engagement, firm your thighs slightly so your kneecaps lift off the ground. Tops of your feet are to the floor. Lift your kneecaps up. Energetically stretch your toes back in space. And then without really moving your arms physically, energetically pull your elbows back so that your heart expands forward. Without really lifting your chin too much, lift up through the sides of your skull. Relax the skin of your shoulder blades down away from your head. Look forward and breathe. Keep your hip bones heavy to the floor. Keep your knees lifted. And maintain that dual directional energy of toes stretching back, collarbones opening forward. Relax your tongue, your jaw, your neck, and your throat. Breathe through your nose. Now hang here in this Sphinx pose and continue to breathe. And if your low back is feeling pretty okay right now, see if we can take this pose deeper. Keep the same position in your upper body. Keep the block between your ankles, and now gently lower your kneecaps down, and then bend your knees, bend your legs up at a 90-degree angle. And you'll notice the block kind of wiggles. So stabilize with gentle effort with your ankles. Squeeze in equally through both sides, and then pull your chest forward just a little bit more. And so now that your legs are bent, energetically stretch your inner thigh bones back. Inner thigh bones, stretch them towards the back of your mat as you float your collarbones towards the front of your mat. Right. Legs straight or legs bent. We'll breathe here just a little bit longer. If your knees are bent, slowly begin to straighten your legs. And then once you're set there, stack your hands on top of one another. Let your feet fall away from the block. And then take your elbows wide and rest your forehead down onto your hands. Close your eyes. Pause here and breathe for just a moment. Taking your time, move gently as you press your body up into hands and knees, the tabletop position. You can place your block off to the side so both of your blocks are off to the side. Then go ahead and swing down onto your hips, flip over, and lie down on your back. Once you're lying down, bend your knees, place your feet to the ground, and without using your hands, walk your feet up towards your heels as far as you can go naturally. Take your arms out wide to the side at shoulder level. Spread your fingers out wide so all of your fingernails connect with the ground. Begin to tiptoe your feet out wide towards the edges of your mat. Allow your knees to rest in towards one another, and pause here. Keep your arms, your shoulders, and your head all in the same place so your upper body doesn't move. And now keep your feet out wide as they are. Slowly and gently release both of your knees down to your right. Release both of your knees down to your right as far as you can go without pain, without moving or shifting your upper body. And pause here in what is called Supta Bharadvadrasana, or windshield wiper pose. Turn your head to your left. You can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever feels more comfortable. Now, if your knees are feeling pretty healthy here, see if you can take the bind by stacking your right ankle on top of your left knee. If you take the bind and it creates pain in your knee, your hip, or your back, just gently release and settle in with your foot on the ground. Pause and rest here for a few rounds of breath. If you've taken the bind, mindfully release your ankle away from your knee. Roll your head back up to center and then float your knees back up to center. And take a moment to reset that neutral position with your knees touching or resting in towards one another and your feet out wide. Once you're at neutral, let's go to the other side. Slowly release your knees down to your left as far as you're able to go without pain and without force. And once you're set there, pause. Go ahead and turn your head to your right. Eyes open or closed to do the same thing you did before on the other side. If you took the bind on the other leg, do so here, this time crossing or stacking your left ankle on your right knee. And avoid jamming or using willpower to press your knee down, but just rather let your legs relax, allow gravity to do its good work. Rest here and breathe. If you have the bind in your legs, mindfully release. Roll your head back up to center. And then float your knees back up to center. And find that neutral position. Once you're set there, tiptoe your feet in towards one another so that your legs are together. And now we're going to use both of the straps for our next posture. So reach over, grab a hold of your straps. One should be an open strap and one should be in a loop. So take the strap that's in a loop. Make sure it's really open at first. It's really open. Okay. Bend your right knee in towards you. And then take your strap all the way around your right leg so that it comes to the front of your hip. Take the other leg, your left leg, bend it through, but this time place your left foot into the strap so that as you straighten your left leg out on the floor and you bend your right knee in, you can secure this strap, the loop, right at the front of your right hip crease. And so take a moment to do that. So once your left leg is straight, you have the strap secure around that left foot. Maneuver however you need to with your situation to tighten this strap up so that you can use the strength, the force of your left leg to traction out some of the pressure that we have in the right hip. And then once you're set there, just hug your right knee into your chest for a moment and stretch your left heel away. Make sure that you're able to maintain tension on your strap so that it starts to descend and pull your right hip away from your ribs. Once you have this set up, take your other strap and then place this strap, the open strap, around the ball mounds of your right foot, and then slowly straighten your leg up towards the sky. As you stretch your right heel up, stretch your left heel away and hold. Straighten your arms as much as you need to take the bend out of your elbows so you're not crunching into your neck and your shoulders. And then plug the head of your arm bones down into the floor. Spread your toes wide, all of your toes. Now firm your legs, really engage the thigh muscles. You'll feel the hamstring stretch start to turn on. And pause here. So keep the strong, long energy through your leg bones without bending your knees, without changing the angle of your right leg. Just turn your right toes out to the side as much as you can. Externally rotate. Stretch longer through your left heel. And then turn your right toes back into center, back into the midline. And do that 3 more times, smooth and steady. Keep your legs straight. Just turn your right toes out to the right. And then turn your toes back in, making your legs longer and firmer each time. Twice more. Externally rotate from the base or from the head of your right femur so your toes turn out to the side. Roll it back in. 1 more time. Turn your toes out and turn your toes in. Pause here and breathe for just a few breaths. Slowly pull your leg in towards your chest as much as you can without bending either leg, So as you pull your leg in, as you pull your right leg in, you're using the strength of your left foot to pull your right hip away from your rib cage. Slowly begin to release by bending your right knee. Place the open strap off to the side, and then take the looped strap and remove that as well. Keep it in the same shape, loop, same size, and then just place that off to the side for a moment. Between sides, take both of your legs out long, relax your arms on the floor, keep your eyes open, and just stare straight up towards the ceiling, straight up towards the sky. Breathe and notice the difference now between your right and your left leg, right and left hip, right and left low back. And now let's set up for the other side. Go ahead and bend your knees, place your feet to the ground. Grab the loop strap first. Take that loop around your left leg. You can slide your left leg all the way through so the strap hooks to the front of your thigh, front of your hip crease, and then take the other part of your strap, other part of your loop around the ball mounds of your right foot. Take your right leg out long on the ground, right? And this is one of those postures where you can take a moment to really adjust and make sure that you have a good setting, a good fitting for your body. And once you're set with your right leg out long on the ground, bend your left knee in towards you. Hug it in and just notice that traction, the strap resistance against that left hip. Grab your other strap, your open strap, place it around the ball mounds of your left foot. Straighten your left leg up towards the sky. And then once both legs are straight, both arms are straight, widen your toes. Widen your toes. Open up that foot space. Notice what you're feeling in your body and breathe. Notice what you're feeling and then breathe. Keeping both legs strong, pressing out through your heels. Externally rotate your left leg so your toes turn out to the side. Keep your heels stretching away. And then internally rotate that left leg. Turn your toes back into the midline. Let's do this 3 more times. Strong and steady. Turn your toes out to the left. Stretch your heel up, especially that inner heel. And then turn your toes back into the center. Twice more. Turn your toes out. Keep the legs engaged. Active leg pose here. Then turn your toes in towards the midline. Once more. Turn your toes out. Turn your toes back into center. Pause here. And now start to pull your left leg in toward your chest as much as you can without bending your knees.
And so you might notice you don't have to go that far to get a lot of a good stretch. And then just hold here for a few breaths. Exiting mindfully, slowly bend into your left knee. Take your open strap, place that off to the side. Take your looped strap and place that off to the side as well. Take your arms and legs long, relaxed on the floor. And just pause for a moment. Notice your legs, notice your hips, notice your lower back. We'll set up for Shavasana. Reach over, grab a hold of both of your blocks. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your blocks at the second tallest height, running widthways, and slide them underneath your knees so they come outside to inside, so that as you lengthen your legs out long, your feet are on the floor and the outer parts of your knees are supported by your blocks here. This helps to release some of the weight and the tension we hold in our sacrum, our hips, and our low back. Once you have your legs supported and set, go ahead and relax your arms on the ground, palms up, and make sure that your arms are somewhere in between hip and shoulder level, so your armpits have space to breathe, your lymph nodes can breathe and detox. Once you're set there, gaze straight up, close your eyes. Relax your tongue down away from the roof of your mouth. Soften the outer hinges of your jaw. Relax the skin of your face. And let everything else in your body sink and release into the floor, very much like the quality of wet sand, where it's heavy and grounding, but also soft and malleable. It's easy. And from this effortless place, connect to your breath. Without change, without technique, allow your breathing to move organically in and out through your nose. And just observe, listening to every inhale, listening to every exhale. Rest here in your Shavasana for at least another 4 minutes. If you have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, take that time. Rest and recharge. Gravity is an amazing healing force to our spine and the rest of our body. And so rest here in your Shavasana for at least 4 minutes or longer if you have the time. And whenever you are ready to move up and out into the rest of your day, go slow, breathe, and take your time on the way out. Thank you so much for joining me here in this yoga practice. Namaste.